In our last video, we talked about why you must dream your dream, have ambitions, go for the life you want to live. No matter how impossible it seems right now, it's a given, but you must allow yourself to want it. In this video, we will expand even more on reasons why you must go for the best life you can live. First, let me give you an explosive idea. Explosive meaning it will sound very controversial. That idea is the process of achieving success is one of, if not the most healing-inducing and consciousness-expanding things you can do on earth, which means it's one of the most spiritual things to do. Very controversial, isn't it? But before we go further, let's look at the definition of success. Success, simply put, is to live the life we want to live. Keyword we want, which first means we get to decide how to live our life, not our parents, not our boss, not even our spouse. Second, it means it's a life that our heart chooses, a life we genuinely love, which can translate into having the money to live the lifestyle we want, doing the work we love to do, being in relationships we love being in, and having meaningful and worthy goals to pursue. It's a life of a dynamic freedom, peace, passion, fulfillment, and contentment. Very often people think pursuing success is not spiritual, mostly implying pursuing money is not spiritual. None of that is valid at all. The most spiritual thing we can do is to actualize our full potential by following our inner ambition, also called the desires, to pursue the life we want, whether it is to have a lot of money and enjoy a lifestyle to our preference, or create an impactful business that brings a lot of good to the world, or to be a stay-home mom to take the best care of their kids. Because doing what we truly want to do with our life is not only the most enlivening and worthwhile way of living as a human, but also during the process, we experience the most healing and consciousness expansion from a soul perspective. But you may wonder, why is that? Let's remember this about healing. No matter what form it takes, healing simply means letting go of all the limitations we have in our consciousness. Most of them we are not even aware of. These limitations take on all sorts of forms and ways. The stronger ones are often called trauma, but in truth, all limitations we take on are trauma. They're all energetic distortions we began carrying in our consciousness and our energy system. And we perceive the world through these limitations, also called beliefs or filters. Unless we discover them and heal them, our life will be the result of all that limitations, such as no freedom, no fulfillment, not enough money, not enough love, etc. But in truth, they are just a projection of our own limitations. Once we dissolve that limitation, our reality must shift. That's again basic law of attraction, the law of energy and matching frequencies. So the process of achieving success is literally the process of quote-unquote forcing ourselves to do intense healing work because it requires us to let go of the most of our limitations, our limiting beliefs, and only through that can we achieve success, such as our limited beliefs on money. A very brief example. Most people care so much about what others think of them, and that just stops them from moving anywhere near the life they want to live. They fear what their family think, what their friends think, what their boss thinks, what their colleagues think, even strangers. That caring about what others think of us lies in the deeper trauma called shame. That's what they are afraid of, or we are afraid of, fear of feeling ashamed. Now we look at the people who went out there to create a massively successful life. Do they let that others think of them stop them? The answer is obvious. None of them would have been where they are if they were paralyzed by the idea of how others think of them. But that doesn't mean they didn't have that fear. They had it, but they somehow found a way to move through that fear, meaning they used that process to heal that fear and moved to the other side, which is the freedom to be exactly who they are as they want to be, freedom. So now you know that explains why so many of the successful people do seem to be quite wise or wild, even crazy, because they don't seem to care about what others think of them. We must know mostly they didn't start with all of that. They go through the process of success to become that. Most of them would tell you in the beginning days they had fear, they had doubt, but through the process they've become the person that they are. And they would admit easily they are still going into that bigger version of themselves. So you could really say success is not what we achieve, it's who we become in the process. I believe in the heart of your heart, you feel the truth in it as well. Now let's look at money for a bit. This troublesome subject most of us don't find comfortable with. That's even more reasons to talk about it, because what we are afraid of eventually controls us and paralyzes us unconsciously. So if we want to truly be free and live a thriving life, we must understand it and even master it. Otherwise, we are limited and controlled by money instead of we using money as a tool to serve us. First of all, let's burst the bubble and see money with the ultimate clarity here. None of us really want money. We want the experiences money can get us. In other words, we all want a truly rich life that's about having all the experiences we want instead of having no choice because of lack of money. So right here, if you really get the core of the issue here, you will know the power and magic is all about allow ourselves to dream about the experiences we want to have instead of focusing only on the money. One of the top keys to money freedom, as I shared in one of the live streaming videos, is give a purpose to the money we want instead of beating the drum saying, I want more money, which actually is better than simply saying, I don't have enough, so I will stay small and live within the means. Say, I want more money to do this. I want more money to do that. That way, you are creating a channel for the river to flow, in this case, for the energy to flow. Energy here meaning money as a form of energy, like everything, as an energy flow that runs through our experiences. And we all know the river seeks to run through wherever there is a channel. So when you give money a channel, you actually call forth that flow to flow into your experience. But of course, there are other elements that are in the way, quote unquote, blocking this flow of money into our experiences. That's where healing work must be done, because these are often limitations and traumas that we're completely unaware of. So from my own experiences and from all that I have observed and learned, to understand is not enough. We must apply all these into experiences in order to truly heal and transform ourselves so that we can experientially truly get it. Now that we know the rightful place money belongs, it's an important tool for us to have the experiences we want, and there are a lot of experiences we can access with money, and without money, we cannot. But is it that important that we pursue it over everything? Is it our ultimate goal here? The answer might be an obvious no, but what are we pursuing when we say pursuing success? As I mentioned earlier in the video, very often people think pursuing success is not spiritual, or having ambitions is not spiritual, mostly because people think pursuing money is not spiritual, and pursuing success equals pursuing money. Now you know none of that is valid. These perspectives are often judgments based on the limitations and traumas that we brought in as we grow up. We begin to see the world this way, hence these kinds of judgments. First of all, wanting more money is spiritual. It means we want a truly rich life with all the experiences we want to have in this life on earth, fully and thoroughly. That is spiritual. Being spiritual doesn't mean to be poor. And in fact, the money issue holds so much trauma and limitation for us to heal, to finally not being controlled and limited by money anymore. Secondly, pursuing success, of course, does not equal pursuing money. We will talk about this now. Ponder on the following very important sentence here. Success is not the result of money. Money is the result of a success. Let's look at success from another angle. We could say success is live the life we want, but in truth, success contains even more than that. Its definition is broader than that. We can even say success is living life in such a way that we progressively realize a worthy goal and an ideal or dream, and that dream can be to live the life we want. Money often comes with realizing that ideal, but it's not always a part to start with unless a person specifically defines money as part of their goal. We all know some of the biggest names in the world, such as Microsoft, Google, Facebook, even Alibaba. They are sensational empires now, but their founders have sincerely shared again and again they were not aiming at the big money. They were really just pursuing their ideal, their own dream, and that took them one step after another to where they are now. Growth is inevitable if we keep focusing on something and giving our vital energy, in this case, passionate pursuit of that goal. We also know some of the biggest giants of money also started with starving family. So money was their primary goal to start with, and very quickly they were able to provide their family with a good life, and they began naturally to have bigger goals that extend way beyond money. Although it still involves money, they don't pursue goals just for money anymore, but for the challenge, for the growth and expansion, and even for the freedom to do bigger and impactful things for the world with more money as resources, such as charity or public facilities, etc. Here I need to point out something very important. We often misunderstand. Studies have shown with biological proofs that money can get us emotional contentment only to a certain extent. Once we have enough money to live a preferred lifestyle, money really can't bring us more happiness anymore. That explains why people give away money or do charity, because it really gives them a kind of fulfillment they cannot get by spending on themselves anymore. That's also why we see some of the got rich overnight people living quite miserably, because they are tasting that in a very short period of time, and it's quite disorienting from not having enough to suddenly having so much at disposal. The contentment level suddenly drops, and if they do not understand how it works, it really can wreck them emotionally and spiritually. This is also true from the upper limit problem perspective. Which leads me to the following points I'm making. First, the pursuing of your goals, whether it's providing the best life for your family or pursuing an ideal, an idea. It's that drive, that passion, that life energy coming through us powerfully, through you. That's where the magic is. And that's what brings you the fulfillment of that desire, that dream. And let alone, from a spiritual perspective, the most incredible healing work you will naturally do in the process, which is letting go of so many unnecessary limitations in yourself and become so free, empowered, and heart-centered, true to yourself. Second, whether money is the part of your goal or not, be wise and know that money will come if you keep pursuing your goal. But do not make money the be-all and end-all, because it will disappoint you, and because it's the continuous challenge, growth, and expansion, and, let me add, meaning in pursuing worthy goals that makes us live a truly successful life, spiritually, emotionally, and material-wise. With all of this said, there is a way, a formula for us to achieve true success, true richness that not only brings us money as a byproduct, but also gives us fulfillment, enthusiasm, because it brings forth our mental genius. It calls forth our creative expression. It's both the most spiritual way to live and also in most harmony with how things work on earth about money. So instead of only chasing money, we can and we will pursue true success instead. In our next video, I'm going to show you this formula to life's true success that applies to everyone. Yes, I said everyone. Stay tuned.